What's up YouTube? Marcio Grava here with the Tunes and Tones series. Today we are going to talk about the Epiphone inspired by Gibson Custom, the 1958 Korina Flying V limited edition. Just very honest video about this quite an amazing instrument. It is really beautiful, as you can see. I don't need to tell you that. Aesthetically speaking, it is really gorgeous. It's the kind of perfect instrument that you hang up on a guitar hanger and you look at it all the time when you pass by. So yeah, but what is good, what is great, and what is not so great? Right, so obviously this is a made in China instrument. I'm not saying that made in China must be bad. If you think about Eastman, for example, they made superb instruments. But here we are talking about mass production. It's not a luthier level guitar. So of course, straight out of the box, when I got this guitar, I had of course you see it has a really premium hard case, super heavy. I think the box altogether had like 11 kilos. It comes really well packed, and so on. But when I got it, the first thing I realized was that the fretboard was super dry. Now what you see here is really dark, but that's because I put some Monte Prezzo wax, which gives a natural darker look, and also it really conditions the fretboard. It was absolutely dry. The other thing that I felt when I was playing, when I went back to the first frets, is that it was quite painful on the index finger and on the thumb, because the nut was cut really sharp. And these are the things that make them save money, because it saves time, right? It's always about FTEs. I mean, I'm coming from the corporate world. I work with HR and payroll, so we are always calculating cost of employment, calculating cost, how much it costs to have an extra person or to have less, or how much a process costs. And it's the same on guitar manufacturing. It's not different. It's a business, right? So they do cut corners when it comes to FTE costs, and that's why they have plants in Asia. It's cheaper than producing these things in America, and not to mention the expertise, of course, and experience. So of course these are things that you can kind of easily fix on your own, right? So conditioning the fretboard, sanding these sharp edges here. But of course, when you think about the frets, in comparison to a standard Epiphone, or a lower budget Epiphone, you would have really sharp fret ends, and sometimes you need fret leveling. They come really full of grime and really not great. Now these ones came quite nicely. The leveling was done nicely, but I could actually do some sanding also, and crowning of some of the frets. You can feel, you can even hear this, I think. And I polished the frets straight out of the box, replaced the strings were horrible, but really that's it from the ugly side of things. Pickups sound great. They are Gibson pickups made in USA. Pots are great. The switch is also fine. You can see that it's a very sturdy stuff, and otherwise that's how it sounds. It sounds like a Flying V, and that's the nice thing about the Flying V. If you don't want to spend 9,000 on the Gibson Custom reissue of the 1958 Korina, you can spend 1,400 on this one. Sure, and you can see that I'm quite uncomfortable sitting. This is one thing about Flying Vs, you never know if you're playing sitting. If you do it like this, if you do it like that, what really is a guitar is made to play standing, okay? Now the first user, or the first famous user of the Flying V, was Albert King, a blues player. And that was the only reason really for me to have it. I wanted to see where the quality stands, because it's too expensive for an Epiphone made in China. And honestly speaking, with 1,400 you can buy great guitars made in USA. Or with less than that you can buy some PRS made in Indonesia that would be better. objectively speaking, the quality will be better. Sound-wise, it's really hard to beat, made in USA Gibson pickups. These are burst buckers, I believe. Yes, and I mean the electronics. This is really black and white. If you get premium electronics, most of the time the guitar is going to sound great, but the feel is something that I cannot. You need to try it for yourself. It feels okay, but it doesn't feel, in my opinion, it doesn't feel amazing. It's not really a super comfortable fret to play with, because a fretboard or neck or in general. So there are better options for this money. I think it's quite a lot of money for an Epiphone made in China. Still, stays in tune. I just picked up before doing this video. It was almost in tune after a few weeks that I haven't even touched it. It's hanging on a wall. As I said, it's a beautiful instrument. So anyway, I'll just play a few tunes here so you can hear some of the sounds that come out of it. Mostly I'm using a clean amp through my quad cortex with some pedals in front of it. It's mostly clean and crunchy sounds, but it gives you an idea of the quality of the sound. I think the sonic experience is really good. The feel is quite subjective, but in my opinion, if I compare this to obviously made in USA guitars, it's nowhere near. I could compare it to some PRS made in Indonesia, but I think the PRS will be better in terms of comfort and the finishing details, really, when it comes to the fret ends and the fretboard itself, materials on the fretboard material as well. So anyway, I hope you like it. Feel free to subscribe, leave your comment, ask your questions. Happy to respond, I always do. And yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers.